Why do we rely on gut feelings, even with all the information? How does a new perspective help with familiar things? Why is trial and error effective for challenges?
Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in to Green Pool's channel. I am Yuji, a Japanese retiree and the author of Green Pool, Simple Lessons Learned in My Ordinary Life. Today's theme is working with your brain. The human brain isn't perfect. But if we get to know how it works and play to its strengths, we can be much more effective. 1. Sometimes even when we have all the info we need, making a decision feels impossible. That's when we fall back on gut feelings. But if we remind ourselves that intuition isn't always reliable, we can see wrong turns as learning experiences instead of failures. 2. Even a place we've seen 1,000 times can feel brand new when we look at it from a different angle. A fresh perspective can lead to unexpected insights. 3. The brain has a handy trick. It tends to forget tough experiences over time. That's why trial and error works. Setbacks don't stick forever, making it easier to keep going. 4. Big complicated problems can feel overwhelming, but breaking them into smaller pieces makes them way easier to tackle. The brain likes manageable chunks. These are just a few of the brain's quirks. But if we learn how to work with them, minimizing weaknesses and maximizing strengths, we can get the most out of our minds. In line with today's theme, I'll share 5 short related essays from my book Green Pool. When confronted with a crossroads of decision-making, and lacking decisive factors to influence my choice, I have often relied on my intuition or hunches, just as others have done. Fortunately, the likelihood of experiencing a complete failure in decision-making has been relatively low. However, in instances where I have acknowledged a failure, I have always strived to perceive it as an inevitable outcome that provides an opportunity for learning and personal growth. We are often deeply moved when we encounter a magnificent scenic view that surpasses our initial expectations. An afterimage of that scenery is unconsciously formed and stored in our minds. However, when we revisit the same location later, the view often seems less impressive compared to our first encounter. This may occur because the actual view cannot exceed the internal expectations shaped by that stored afterimage. Conversely, some individuals are moved each time they rewatch their favorite movies. This phenomenon suggests that with each viewing, they gain new insights into the film's depth and complexity from different perspectives. Therefore, experiencing a change in perspective can undoubtedly refresh and enrich our lives. In life, if we fail to address the problems we have caused ourselves, we risk encountering the same issues repeatedly. In these situations, it is crucial not only to solve the immediate problem, but also to explore its root cause to prevent recurrence. This process involves identifying the cause, learning effective solutions, and implementing them diligently. While these steps may seem straightforward, they require a deep level of self-awareness, as unconscious patterns of thought and behavior often underlie our problems. Therefore, it is essential to confront our inner selves, thoroughly investigate the causes of our issues, and engage in thoughtful reflection to break these patterns. When taking on a new challenge, the initial, often higher hurdles can hinder progress and leave one feeling stuck. However, after finally overcoming these early obstacles, things may start to fall into place, even becoming enjoyable to some extent. As the saying goes, when the pain is gone, it's soon forgotten. and we are often quick to overlook the struggles we've already conquered. Yet, as we move forward, we inevitably encounter a second set of higher hurdles. By feeling our way through these new challenges, we repeat the process, advancing to the next phase. Once again, after these obstacles are behind us, we may forget the difficulties faced along the way. This cycle of facing and conquering hurdles washing over us like waves becomes the true path to mastering life. Many people have likely experienced lying awake at night, overwhelmed by worries that lead to physical and mental exhaustion. I too have faced this struggle. Although various sources reassure us that most worries never materialize, I found it difficult to accept this conceptually, and even harder to apply it practically to change my mindset. Nothing seemed to ease my concerns. To cope, I developed a method that starts with identifying the root cause of each worry. Next, I break down the issues related to that cause into smaller, manageable tasks, treating them as individual problems to solve. Throughout this process, I often encounter feelings of anxiety and negativity. I consciously try to set these feelings aside, addressing each small task calmly and independently of any negative emotions. Gradually, I find the problems become more manageable step by step. Additionally, I noticed that dwelling on worries before bedtime creates a vicious cycle. To break it, I made a conscious effort to postpone my worries until the next morning, a form of productive procrastination. When I can tackle them with a fresh perspective and clearer mind. Lastly, I find solace in prayer, which has become a significant source of comfort and has helped to ease my worries. I hope today's essays resonated with you and offered new inspiration. That's all for now. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time on the Green Pools channel. Until then, take care. また会いましょう。ありがとうございました。